solos, and in the bottom when I'm in the game, you can watch the World Cup tournaments. So yeah. Okay. I'm gonna change my skin to an OG skin. Tomato head. I need 4 more points to rank up. Okay. I'm not that good, but I'm gonna try. Okay, if you look in the bottom left corner, there should be like that black screen. Yeah, there. You can see the World Cup with all the good players now.
World stage, man. Look at that.
I gotta say, you know, I'm sure he's proved a lot of people wrong, and you have to respect it. Yeah. But Golden Boy,
shout out to my viewers.
Stand here. Where are we right now? So at the top, it's still going to be Saf and Zate with 38 points. They have that victory royale in game 1 and 16 eliminations. Mega Dubs, second place, looking pretty. No victory royales for them thus far. We saw Zextra and Vinny do the same thing, but it's Calculator and Mac with that jump up to 6th place. They have 22 points total, 12 eliminations in that game. They're finally in that top 10.
I want to take it one step further. Bad Sniper and Osmo jump up to 13 total eliminations. They didn't have anything up until this point. They just had one great pop-off game. Yeah. And suddenly, they're in the running here. It is anyone's game in the top 10 because you have to be consistent. And again, there's always those wild cards, those pop-off moments. And here's a look at page 2. Any of these guys are still in the running right now.
You got Bell and Scarlet, who've been wrestled out of the top 10. The Japanese duo who had a premier game in game number 1. Benjifishi, Mr. Savage, saw their demise earlier on. They're going to have 13 points there, but you saw the standings, and we're in game 3. These games are going to be so critical. Games 3 and 4. Players are going to be down low. Like, there's an opportunity for you to try and get your way into that top 20, which is where you're really going to start to get a lot in the prizing. But for the folks that are going to be sitting in top 10 right now, they're going to be feeling very nice about their current standings. For game 3 to be in 2nd place, Dubs and Mega, and then Saf and Zate still performing so well.
Okay.
And that's the crazy part.
There's
Dubs
my first
and Mega.
Kill.
Everyone has been rooting for them.
They're
like that wild card that came out of nowhere, and they really sweat the competitive community hard lately.
That's right. So I did get word. We have Jordan standing by with our winners from Game 3. Jordan, take it away.
NA really showing up and showing off today. It's amazing, seemingly tapping in that nail in the coffin. Such a please pardon the pun, I have to say, calculated game here from Calculator and Macwood. Guys, well matted, well utilized. You dominated high ground, seemingly all of that in-game there. Walk me through that process of getting that high ground, attaining, and then dominating for the rest of the game.
Well, we were able to pick up 2 lucky eliminations on that outer circle of 4th zone, I think it is, and we were able to use our mats to build up. We were lucky enough to get half and half, and we were able to just beam people out of the air, hold high, and got lucky with a couple zones.
Amazing. Well, I mean, again, you had 3 games left to go. The strategy, is it going to continue to shift around a little bit, or are you guys going to maintain what you've been working on? Strategy, maintaining thus far. You guys have a very calculated and very patient game, seemingly leading all the way up to the end of the end game. Right. Walk me through your strategy for the end of the next 3 games.
Shoot them in the head.
Shoot them in the head. You heard it here first. Back to you, GV and Moss.
Calculator gets an opportunity to show the world his knowledge.
Some people, it's just that simple, and hey man, maybe he's just wired that way, right? We're all wired a little differently. Calculator has clearly got his head on his shoulders, and he's ready to just shoot things.
Yeah, but Macwood was the one doing a bulk of the shooting in that last game. 7 eliminations for Macwood. He looked so great, and you would expect the young Calculator to be the one that leads the charge on slaying, but Macwood, man, holding it down. And let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I mean, you know,
this guy didn't have much
not that much older, right? But I think it's just important to note that you have to have teammates at any point in time to just pop off. You need that. It's so necessary. You got to trust in your teammate. That's what makes a lot of these duos so successful.
Yes, I mean, we've seen it from the start of every round. Some teams are just more aggressive than others, and they know how to stick together.
A lot of great moments in that game, and good news for us is that we got Sundown standing by to break it all down. Sundown, over to you.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy and Monster. Now, we talked about Safe and Zap. We just got to talk with Maxwood and Calculator. But Dubs and Mega had an incredible game from the early into the mid that they transitioned into a top 2 performance. So let's dive right on in and see what allowed to make them into the top 3. First, notice their elims in the bottom corner, but the rifle fire together. The second they see the shield is down, able to pick up 1. Mega is the one who is leading the charge here. He picks up all 4 of their first elims. You can see Waller plays down, and the trap is so intelligent. Double ticks going through, places the ramp so it's phased. Knowing the yellow is there, pushes in 2 more elims, chugs flashes. Dubs stays up with just barely enough HP, and you can see he's trying to trap the floor every single time. Gets the mid-ground control. 5th elim for Mega. We talked about how high their ceiling was, unfortunately using the shockwave to go down and end up at a low ground disadvantage. Calculator and Macwood able to ride it out, but now Mega and Dubs have pushed into that top 3, challenging to be the first ever World Championship duo. The team who has possibly the highest ceiling, full qualified solos and duos. The question is, in the last half, the last 3 games, will they be able to keep it up? Will NA stay on top? Will Serpent and Hype represent Oceania and upset the apple cart? I'm about ready to see some hype myself. Let's throw it back inside for the last 3 games. Gentlemen, take it away.
Well, if you want hype, got you covered, baby, because these games have been incredible. And if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to the Fortnite World Cup Finals live from New York City. We're in the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Game 3 just concluded. We had 3 different winners across 3 different games. This is our duos competition. These players are playing for a lot of money in prizing. So much on the line here. Lives will change forever after today for those players that are on the stage. Some of the folks you're seeing on your screen right now, in, I would say, in a different positions than they can find themselves in. We got Vinny and Zextro. They're right there. Zayt and Sap, 3 games in, still holding on to first place. It has been wild stuff. Welcome, I'm Golden Boy alongside with Monster Deepface here, and it's been a great day. Really, there's nothing more that you could possibly say about it. And as I had mentioned before, the prizing, the money that these guys are battling it out for, this is it. First place will take home $3 million. Second place gets $2.2 million. Like, that's just absurd. You get in the, where is this here?
4 millionaire duos before the weekend is over, not to mention all the fame and clout that comes with it. So I think you'll be pretty well off at that point, but everyone's a winner here. We're here to celebrate all of the competitors that made it this far to the Fortnite World Cup final stage, because those 10 weekends of qualifications were not easy.
Yeah, when you get into 10th place, that's where you really start to rack up the coin. Game 4 now about to begin. Here we go, folks. Let's see who's going to come out on top. We've had 3 different winners, but our top performers have been consistent through and through. Are we going to see a repeat winner? Are we going to get a new one to add to the list? It's now time. The battle is loaded up. Let's start Game 4.
Another kill.
And you know what? Every game so far, we've seen a new winner. I love that. Same thing with the Pro-Am. There was always some new duo showing that, hey, we've been playing this game. We're ready to take a victory. Everyone here has the potential to come out on top, and you see it unfold in those final moments.
Throughout the weekend, we've been doing interviews, meeting with fans, and talking to people, and a lot of folks have asked, who do you think is going to win? And I know it sounds like a cop-out answer, but I'll be very real with you all. I have no freaking idea, because it truly is up. It's up in the air. This is a battle royale game. At any point in time, you can have Macwood and Calculator just having the game of their lives in Game 3, and now look, boom, they're going to be sitting in the top 10. I mean, how do you even predict that?
We nearly saw it with Zayt and Saf. I think anyone with good logic can clearly put their money on people that have had prior experience, but even that is not enough, because Macwood and Calculator showing that, hey, you know what? We don't even need that. We're here to slay.
Dubs and Mega, they're in second place. They made their names in these qualifiers that led us up to this point. They did not find themselves in land. This is the first time these young men are up there playing on this stage. When I was their age, I couldn't even believe that I was capable of doing something like that. And they're doing it, and they're doing it with style. And then, to make matters worse for everyone else in the server, they've been so consistent, deadly through and through.
Yeah, that's right. And they're in second place, no victory royale. So just showing that if you step to their box, you're going to get hurt. We saw Mega with a masterful, and I mean beautiful performance under Storm Surge pressure. He didn't even blink an eye, still fighting other players, fighting his way out of that desperate situation. Volks and Parpy, let's just hop into this duo right here. We'll talk about him a little bit. They are known for sticking to the hip in PvP. Earlier today, we saw Volks get traded out, but it wasn't just like an easy trade. They were actually winning the engagement up until that point, just showing that they have the skill. And that's the OCE region, right? One of the most feared regions here at the qualifiers, because of the fact that you just had to get a ton of elims. You had to be number 1 in the region.
When talking to players, I would ask them, what are you looking to avoid? And every time, if it was, the NAU players, they would say, I'm just trying to avoid OCE or Brazil. I don't want to have to deal with that. Because they play the hyper aggro style, and they just don't care who you are. They're going to go for the fight.
I mean, you saw Scarlet and Bell in that first game. I truly thought they were going to take the whole thing. It was so close.
Even Sinnoh in the Pro-Am yesterday, another top player
finished second.
Region, finished second. And he was just... I know it's a Pro-Am, obviously a different competition there, but he was just going into boxes. He didn't care. Not a care in the world for them. Now, Volks and Parpy, you find a player above here, right by the jet stream.
And he hit him right already, so that means there is no shield on that player. You can have up to 100 effective shield. That player's dangerously weak, and Volks is just keeping an eye on him. He doesn't know if he's slipped out already, and says, you know what, I'm going to go back to my teammate. It's a little too risky getting split up here.
Play for the mid to late game in this situation now, but 7SSK is going to be dealing once again with Spades and Crims. It seems like just a constant for them. They cannot seem to win out on this fight. Crims is going to be down, though, so the advantage could be going in the favor of Jamside and 7SSK. Spades going to have the high ground, now having to deal with a 1v2. Does he have what it takes to pull this one off? He doesn't own that wall. He has no more builds to work with as well. They're going to push out, and Spades couldn't deal with it, and that's going to be the win there for those two.
You would think for Jamside and SSK, like, hey, we've been landing here, haven't been successful. Do you mix it up? They say, nah, I'm going to stick to my guns here, because everyone's a winner, regardless.
The VP boys coming out on top. Week 6 qualifiers for them. They just need that game, that one game. So many of these players get that one game that catapults them into. And then the momentum shifts, the confidence starts to rise up. You think to yourself, I am capable of being able to do this.
Right here. Looking for a side angle. He's going for the offense, pushing out. Is he tracking this player down? It's really hard to tell. They're getting into, really just going deeper into Neo tilted. If you hang on the outskirts or by the slips, you're at huge risk for getting dived on. So it looks like they say, you know what, we're just going to continue to push on through. Those guys dive off, and those markers are actually the trackers. They say, hey, they're going this way. Mongrel still wants a piece of this.
Keeping up with where players are moving in the crowded Neo tilted, a new area that was introduced just a little while ago. Some players made tilted towers their home. This was a drop spot for so many, the likes of Nick Merckx, Aiden, right? Ever since it changed, you started to see players second guess whether or not they wanted to go to the new tilted. Talking to Aiden earlier, actually when we went out to go get pizza and stuff, he had mentioned like tilted's just a whole different beast. Just not something that he really would want to deal with. That's why you don't really see him going that way anymore.
Yeah, it's just a different lay of the land. As things start to shift, different comforts kind of tend to evolve and whatnot here. But we have Twiz in cover H looking for a push down right now, and they have the positioning, they have the high ground, and it's just a matter of, do we want to dive down? They don't want to give up their angle. They know this duo below them have a flint knock. Flint knock can do so much damage if you peek the wrong way. Minimal's going to hit you for about 80.
This duo from New Zealand, we had a chance to talk to them for that piece, and great to see that friendship, the communication that they'll have with one another, something that a lot of these duos that came together for the Fortnite World Cup duos portion of the finals don't really have. They don't have that cohesion, that chemistry that these two will have, right? That Saf and Zayt would have as well.
Crazy to think there's 89 players in the lobby and 48 duos, so a lot of disengages, a lot of solos out there right now. Keenstar and Hunter looking to defend themselves right now, and it's just a cat game right here, cat and mouse game. What are they going to do? They actually shockwave on out of there, and into the slip they go. They're out. They're trying to get away. That was a shadow bomb right there, and he's gone.
Yeah, I was a little worried about that duo that was coming in, but the storm is creeping up now. This is only phase 1. Nyx gets knocked by Zexro. Saw that in the elimination feed just a second ago. Idem and Derox out wide open.
It looks like actually they saw Mend right there building by himself in a one poor wooden shack, and they're pushing the shack now. So Twiz is going to hear these shots off in the distance, but looks like we're hopping over to the Loot Lake area where it's Macwood and Calculator going against Daedra and Miz. This is a top 10 contenders right here.
The Game 3 winners now having to deal with Daedra and Miz. Shots as well, snipe shot, you just heard that one squeak by Daedra. Need to be careful there, there's some more shots being laid out. Disengage as well. And they're just really pushing them away from here because you've got to get to that safe zone. Don't want to have to deal with the storm, obviously. Still early games here, so you're not going to be ticked for too much. But you're really looking for this next zone, where you're going to start to move here. And this, again, the game is going to be so slow in the start because as you get closer and closer to the end, game 4, critical game, Monster. So many points you can earn from this. Flying into the top 10 potentially if we have a new winner that was outside of it. This is where players start to, I guess it really sets in on them that they're going to be playing for $3 million in prizing.
Yeah, if it hasn't already, I don't know what world they're living in, but here it is. Twiz goes for the shockwave overhead, and it's Derox who eats a chunky one right there. Cover H looking to chop this bad boy down. In comes the Snickers. Is it going to be enough, though? The pressure is so real right here.
Twiz and Cover H doing it, not only for themselves, doing it for New Zealand, their families, and everyone watching them at home. And that is going to be one elimination through. I saw that one pop up. That's number 1 for this duo. The challenge comes in, and that's the win there. 2 elims total. Twiz gets them both.
tried to get out there and play the trap play, but it was not enough. 7 SSK and Jamside have rotated in from Paradise Found. Oh no, down comes the build. They should be close enough. Yeah, he is going to be able to catch himself in a build battle goes off.
The coverage is going to be down. Jamside, 7 SSK 7. You're looking at Jam's perspective here. Going in for the fight, and after winning that one out, it's going to be Jam and 7 SSK 7 that get the better of the boys from New Zealand.
They found their stride coming into Game 4 so far, and that means they're in the running right now. 4 elims is enough to put you on just about page 2, top 20, and we talked about it. If you can make it to that top 20 bracket, you're still in the running so far because there are several more games left before this thing is over here. This calculator finds himself very high in the sky right here. He's got a nice little base. They're just waiting.
Yeah, waiting it out. Norwood's going to be beneath them. And those are the players that were forcing them out before. Oh, no. Starting to hear the explosions, knocking him out.
Wow, he actually sent a shot when the explode came in and hit Cease with that? What? How was Cease knocked right there?
Just, again, when it comes to Fortnite, you never know what you're really going to expect. Your players will always pull something out of the hat and surprise you each and every time. I was looking over at Macwood, who's playing defense calculator. Now really having to deal with 2 players angling shots at him. Macwood back into a fighting position, a fighting posture to help his buddy out.
And it's so unfortunate because they were just about to push to seal the deal and elevate there, and that third party up on the mountain ruined that push.
Slows things down. Elevated Seas having to deal with the Stinkers. Will be moving out of the fight now.
I love it right there. He uses the Stinkers to back him off, and since he doesn't take friendly damage from it, he pushes right into enemy territory here. He's so offensive. He's on the enemy traps.
Oh, man.
Macwood gets owned right there.
Not what you wanted to see happen after winning game number 3, but Elevate and Seas, we mentioned them before. They just need their opponents to top off so everyone here in New York can see.
Oh my god, bro. This game sucks. Jesus Christ. I hope this player dies in a hole. At least I'm in Contender League. Nah, at least I got 4th, yeah. Ooh.